give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Key change, big finish. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm very honored to be here. I love that you have humanists speak. I'm a spiritual humanist. I've said this many times. So this might be a little different than what you're used to hearing. Hi, friends. I see you out there. Anybody want to do a Facebook Live for me? Love that. Thanks. Share it. Let's start with a quote from John Buchan. The task of leadership is not to put greatness into humanity, but to elicit it. For the greatness is already there. As I continue down these 7 principles, I want you to all be aware that it's not a list. We don't go from top to bottom anymore. We have to start reorienting how we look at things. The outlines, the list, the linear ways in which we do things. Let's rethink some things about the shape of how we think. We are at the end of a very long trajectory. 12,000 years after the agricultural revolution, the thing that started the hierarchical, patriarchal, and linear function that we've been in. In the last 5,000 years, at least for the Western world, we can add a good dose of monotheism. This thinking developed into structures and systems that can no longer sustain the human population. The systems perpetuated a scorched earth policy, leaving no population or hectare untouched. It has made the earth and the societal structures we are slaves to uninhabitable. We are not made to live as we are living, and we are feeling it, and the earth is too. More recently, we have become a fragile species. We are anxious, unable to integrate the lessons of pain, because quite often we circumvent the pain by overly medicating ourselves or by blocking it out or turning off when things get too traumatizing to watch or to hear. All of life has become a trigger warning. Because of this, we have unconsciously brought into our reality the inability to solve our own problems. We don't know how to exist. The very thing we are doing, we don't know how to do. After my first talk concluded at the Parliament of World Religions, a woman, a fan I should say, came up to me and said, "Are you speaking again during this week? I'd love to hear you." I said, "Yes, in about an hour. I'm speaking about school shootings and how I'm the daughter of a school shooter and how that experience has shaped my life." And she backed up a bit and said, "Oh, well, I can't watch that. I can't talk about that. I can't do that. It's too traumatizing, it's too much." And she backed away and put her hands up as if to shoo away the thoughts of children being murdered in their classrooms would work. Avoidance has nothing to do with mental health, and it's got everything to do with mental illness and its creation. Children are being gunned down in classrooms, their blood is spilling down the hallways, and when people escape, they slip in it. This happens, and it's happening all the time. No amount of not watching it is going to make it untrue, nor is it going to make it go away. Are we still the country of World War II? Are we still the country that went to the moon? Are we still the country that I was convinced was so strong? Are we still the heroes that I was meant to believe we were? Or have we become so horrified by what we have created that the only way to cope is Netflix and wine? Even worse, the things expected of us, the mortgage, the marriage, the masters, the children, all the flippant functions we're invited to, the 401ks, the vacations which seem like a chore these days, the SATs, the anniversaries, the 9-to-5 grind, the cars, the pets, the cholesterol numbers, the low carbs, all the love and lights, and the underpinnings of what it takes just to live in this society are the very things that perpetuate and cause the weakness we are suffering from. Reality is the product of our inner neglect. If we do not face reality, if we do not grab life by the gonads and dig into the truth, then we cannot possibly shift our trajectory. We must embrace and face all of our pain and brokenness. Strength comes from knowing who you are, warts and all. 7 things. Why 7 things? Why 7 principles? Well, when you hang out with indigenous people of North America, they tend to look at things in 7s. Why? Because 7 colors of the rainbow are what they can see. It is the spectrum that is available to us. Getting more complicated than that goes beyond things we can see. Light spectrum is here, what we can see of it is here. No need to complicate by going beyond what you can't see. 7 is something that you can tackle because you can see it. So that's why I've come up with 7 things. The first thing, a woman. Breathe. It comes no surprise when I say this. I say it every day, every class I teach. Learn how to breathe properly. I promise you it will change your life. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. It's as simple as that. Doing this triggers a relaxation response in the body, a response which is just as much as part of being a human being as our flight or fight response. Abdominal breath saved my life more than once. Your breath is your connection to humanity and all of the earth. Every living thing breathes. The first thing you do when you are born is to inhale. The last thing you will do before you die is to exhale. None of us in this room will come to a full cycle until we are at the end, and that is beautiful. The inhale and exhale are 2 seemingly opposite and equal reactions inside one thing. They are dependent on each other. Just as the masculine and feminine tendencies of all things which keeps life going are here on one planet. 2 truths in one space form the necessary tension to create all of life. From tension comes growth and sustainability. Learn how to breathe properly, and your life will change. Meditation. Stay present, stay in the moment, take time each day to sit in silence. Take time to hear what's going on in your head. and then let it rest. Just be it. Don't just do it. Sit still. Get comfortable with stillness. Learn how to go in without fear. And this step alone makes all the other steps much easier. We must disconnect to connect. Again, striking the balance of that tension is what makes you whole. Go in so that you might go out. Learn to respond rather than react. Come at everything from your stillness within instead of the directionless cloud of fear. Fear has no location or trajectory. It comes at you from all sides. The more you ground inside, the more life has a chance to blossom. You need the stillness in the soil to set down your roots. Water. This should come as no surprise to any of you. Let's say it again. Water is life, both scientifically and spiritually. Water is life, life is love, water is love. Water, life, love. You've heard me say this before. We should be acknowledging the whole truth, but truly learn to have gratitude for the thing that sustains all of life. Know the river you were born by, know what waterway has sustained you over the years, and give it thanks. This is something Indigenous people do all the time, and it's not cheesy to them at all. They recognize they are in a relationship, not a shopping mall. There is nothing to get, but everything to have. The Hawaiian word for water is wealth. Develop a relationship with water and you will discover how rich you are and that money literally grows on trees. Accept your life. Acceptance. First principle of mindfulness is not to argue with reality. It's a losing battle. You won't win. Get therapy if you need to. Once you accept your life and accept that you are here, you are accountable for everything after. Get educated about your story and what really happened or didn't happen. You are here to grow and nothing else. Everything you encounter is designed to make you grow, not to make you bitter. Make peace with it. Get rid of expectations. Know that you are owed nothing. The very idea of a debt or something you need to make things even again is another symptom of living in the structure rather than the actual living itself. Everything you encounter is a mirror, not an enemy. All that has happened to you is an interrogation into who you are, not a trial to confirm your guilt or lack of worth. You exist, and that alone makes you worthy. You're comprised of 2/3 water. That sounds like a gold mine to me. There's a lot of worth in there. On your way to acceptance, you will learn a fundamental law of life. Growth never comes from a comfortable place. All growth comes from places that demand you stretch beyond what you thought you could. This is a law. When you declare, when you stand on solid ground and say, I'm here, let's go, it means you recognize that there is nothing that can stop you. That realization is all the self-love you need. Fear cannot fertilize a mind that accepts its right to live. I'm here, and that's enough. Acceptance has within it a natural consequence. You can't accept and then not invest in life. It's a symbiotic arrangement. You agree to live here. So while you're here, you agree to enjoy some things. If you want to have a greater sense of unity, you'll have to go to where people are congregating. I'm not saying you have to go to Walmart on a Saturday, although that would certainly put you in touch with how a large number of people live. I personally avoid Walmart for my own reasons, but I do invest in many ways in the mainstream. I am a huge sports fan. I love award shows, and you know I'm going to be watching the Emmys tonight, including the Red Carpet Live, to see all the dresses. You can choose which corner to occupy here. Get a hobby, find some music, learn how to cook, go see some art, engage your senses. Isolation is the main reason for lack of motivation, not a lack of inspiration. The human race is nothing to fear if you accept that you are one. You can decide to join a hiking group, a litter cleanup group, you can go to the opera, or you can go live off the grid with pagan vegans who only speak for an hour a day. I don't care. Just find something outside yourself to participate in. Nature does this through dependent coexistence, a concept clearly laid out in Buddhism. Everything is dependent on one or two or a few things outside of itself to keep it alive. Nothing stands alone. Once you accept, you must connect, and to do that, you must invest. Before you know it, you'll be mainstream. You'll be humming Taylor Swift songs, running home to watch The Bachelorette live, reading Harry Potter, and wondering which dip to make for your Super Bowl party. And trust me, you'll be better for it. Don't give up your need to go against the grain if you're anything like me, but don't isolate yourself out of connection. Know thyself. The words etched at the entrance to the oracle at Delphi, Socrates, Plato, Shakespeare, Alexander Pope, and Emerson, just to name a few. I'm sure a woman said it too at some point. Knowing yourself makes you impervious to the bribery of other people's opinions. I'm going to say that again. Knowing yourself makes you impervious to the bribery of other people's opinions. The idea that anyone would know what you need or who you are better than you is the very pinnacle of human sickness. Knowing yourself makes you fluent in the language of your instincts. You don't question them. In yoga and Vedanta philosophies, just to name a few, this notion of knowing yourself is called svadharma, your nature. Once you know your lane, stay in it. If we all stayed in our lanes instead of taking a bunch of exits on our way to our destination, there wouldn't be any traffic jams. Know yourself. Do whatever it takes. You will find no greater sense of belonging than when you are at the helm of your ship, not relying on anyone else to be the navigator. Knowing yourself gives you a fluency of living, free of doubt. You are a vital tributary that will always feed into the rapid river, that will always find its regeneration in the vast big blue. The eventuality of the ocean is always in you, no matter what. Don't worry. Just drive. You'll get there. Just please stay in your lane. This comes with a warning. Once you know who you are, everything opposite will show up on your doorstep just to test you. In yoga, there is a stage of undulation you go through on your way to enlightenment. It's called vichina in the Yoga Sutras. 2 steps forward, 1 step back is a natural way of the journey. You'll go through a really great period of feeling amazing. You'll be turning everything to gold. You'll say, hey, this badass thing really works. I'm a complete warrior. And then boom, something will happen right around this time to bring you down. It is the natural way of the journey. You are not being thwarted. You cannot stray from the path no matter how hard you try, because you're not on a path. You are the path. There is no way to get off. Here's my favorite one, the one that's helped me more than anything, besides meditation and breathing. Non-duality. This is not an either-or game. There is not only one choice to make out of 2. The world is not divided up into heaven and hell, good and evil, yes and no, boy and girl, night and day. Neither are our feelings about things. Stop labeling your experiences. Duality is a form of ignorance. It is the real original sin. A human thought pattern that is the consequence of taking our eye off our inner wall. It is a system of slavery. Pleasure versus pain. Stop always running toward pleasure and running away from pain, because the thing that causes pleasure may one day cause you pain, and the thing that causes you pain may one day cause you pleasure. These things switch around all the time, and we become slaves trying to cling to pleasure because we believe that all things good are good. And this is not necessarily so. Remember that self-love does not always feel good. I usually tell my yoga students this when they're on their 6th breath of a high plank. Learn how to be in an experience without a label. Keep in mind the balance. This doesn't mean you won't feel loss or joy again. It just means you won't extend those feelings beyond their natural lifespan. Feel them fully. Let them go. Return to home base. You're safe. It's not so much about oneness. It's about allness. Keep in mind, just to be clear, because I use terms masculine and feminine a lot, I'm not doing that to illustrate opposites. I'm doing it to show unison. They are tendencies that emanate out of the wholeness, not pieces of real estate sitting across from each other with their arms folded in opposition and a stare down. They hold each other, deeply embraced at all times. It's never one or the other, it's both, and all the gray matter in between. And finally, boundaries. The sacred no, a concept completely absent in almost every single religion in the world. The powerful Gandalf phrase, "You shall not pass." There are times when this is absolutely necessary. You didn't come all this way learning who you are, creating a holistic and healthy way to live and exist just to let the systems roll all over you, did you? Self-knowledge is the greatest armor there is, and I'll be damned if anyone wants to take a step in me or on me and blow me off course. If you harm me or my body, I could probably forgive you, but you're not coming over and we're not going to be friends. And that's okay. Krishnamurti reminds us that it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. We must refuse to acquiesce our power to the system that is only here to keep fear in us. We've been made to adjust to society rather than making society adjust to us. There is a woman I see when I go to get my allergy shots every week. She has a large yellow SUV. I park either next to her or near her when I arrive at my allergist. She's in her parked car with the engine running. The AC is on, I assume. And she's looking at her phone, watching videos. Just below her neckline, I can see she's unbuttoned her shirt and she's naked from the chest down. Attached to her breasts are 2 breast pumps which alternately suck and dispense her precious mother's milk into plastic receptacles made for the woman on the go. I'm so tempted each time to knock on her door and interview her about her thoughts on the American dream. Is this what we worked so hard for? Is this what we marched in the streets for? Are you feeling fulfilled as you pollute the skies for 30 minutes while you watch videos on your phone, while on your lunch break, while you pump milk to feed your child that is no doubt in daycare that eats up 40% of your income from a job that clearly does not provide you with the privacy of home and dignity? How's that working for you? What kind of society does this to its mothers? This senseless way of living needs a boundary. I admire this woman's dedication, no doubt. This isn't her fault. But if she's willing to live this way, at what point will her no come? I sit in the waiting room after my allergy shots for the required 30 minutes to make sure I'm not going to have a reaction. And I think that what I've just witnessed in the parking lot is tantamount to an abusive relationship. When will we acknowledge the abusive underpinnings of our society? We need to know, both individually and collectively. Know your boundaries. Never be afraid to say no. It's part of staying in your lane. So, what does all this get to steep in or marinate in? The seedbed for your life is love and humor. Love is your natural superpower. It's not something you feel or achieve. It's something that you are. You are the thing that sustains you. The fact that you exist means that you are giving just by being. Water, just to use another metaphor for water, it's not discriminate. It doesn't select what crack to creep into. Just as you, in love, your existence does not necessarily get to choose
where or how you end up. It's free will spiced up with a dash of random chance. Well, I was all set to flow this way, and then a tree trunk came in my way. So I just float around it. That's all you have to do. No matter what direction I get pulled into, I'm always going to be flowing with love because that's what I am. Water always adapts, and so I must too. It always finds a way. Its flow cannot be stopped, only harnessed. It's the same in you. Humor. If you cannot laugh, you are not human. Period. I'm not saying everything is funny. I'm saying everything should be approached with a healthy dose of humor. Watch The Enlightened Ones. Watch an interview with the Dalai Lama and just count how many times he laughs. Even in the book of Matthew, we cannot enter the kingdom of God unless we are like a child. We have to learn how to be playful. This doesn't mean we don't have serious work to do. It means we have to do the serious work with a smile. And you want to know the biggest knee slapper of all? The funniest thing ever? We all know that this whole gig is a joke. The climb, the minimum wage, the 8-hour workday, the 2.5 kids in a house that's mortgaged with working smoke alarms and the new ring security system. We got dogs and cats and meatless Mondays. We have premiums, we're policyholders. We have checking books, and we have IRAs and the appropriate amount of charity service, or at least enough charity so that somebody notices we're giving. The whole game is a joke, and we know it. We've got to laugh at it. What is the reorientation? It is to the self rather than society. Self has become so equated with ego that we have neglected the journey within, for fear we might appear to agree with figuring out how to live in our own bodies. This is ridiculous. Any spiritual people out there constantly referring to the ego as bad, I've got news for you. The ego protects the deepest place of you. It is your you shall not pass. It's the energy that keeps you going, refusing to give up. Keep it, use it when necessary, and know when it needs to take a break. Ego imbalance is part of the natural formula of growth. Keep your ego, just don't let it go on a shopping spree. The cultivation of a real sense of self is what it's all about. The systems perpetuate sickness, the sense of self cultivates strength. The strength we need to solve these global problems lies directly within us. We must face exactly who we are and do the work. How can we learn to listen if we cannot hear what is inside? How can we hold space if we don't know how to stand in our own? We are strong enough to face reality. We are warrior enough to go in it within, and we get to say no when anything comes between us and that journey. We are all kings and queens of our bodies, our thoughts, and our kingdoms. There is no social or societal structure powerful or attractive enough to make me think that it can validate me. Only I can do that. I exist, and it's enough. It means nothing more than living. Stop with the systems and listen to the self. Guard it fiercely. And remember this quote. Of course I talk to myself. Sometimes I need expert advice. Thank you. Resolution junkie, you could all sit with your feet flat on the floor, knees spread about hip distance apart, and place the palms up. Nice straight back. Finding your breath. Eyes closed. Find an exhale and let it all come out. Everything. Everything you just heard, let it go. And when that big roaring inhale comes in, let it nourish you and feed you and bring oxygen to the brain. Feel the floor. Feel your seat. And feel your open heart. In the vast
this sense of confusion, it is possible to find light. Take this time to be confident right where you are. Slowly come back to the body, come back to the self, come back to the gathering. Feel the peace inside, feel the love all around you and in you. And be content right where you are.
Smile over the mountains. Smile over the sea. Smile into the heavens. It turns to me. Send my joy over the mountains. Send my joy over the sea. Send my joy into the heavens. It turns to me. Send my power over the mountains. Send my power over the sea. Send my power into the heavens. It turns to me. Send my peace over the mountains. Send my peace over the sea. Send my peace into the heavens. It turns to me. Send my love over the mountains. Send my love over the sea. Send my love
As I listened to you, it occurred to me that oneness begins with eliminating the fragmentation of our lives. We can become one with ourselves. We're on the path of becoming one with all. Now it is time for us to take our offering. Maybe you'll take just a silent moment to prepare your gift. And we'll have our offering prayer. Let us join together with our offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am joy-filled and grateful.
It's me again, right? Okay, so this song actually came to mind. I hadn't done this forever, but I don't know if you've ever seen Broadway show Wicked, but it's full of really cool songs and stuff. So I'm going to take this. It's really meant to be done by two people, but I'm going to do all of it. It's my ego working overtime. So I can do it. Said the people come to our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn and be honest. Those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I am who I am today because I knew you. Like a ship come morning as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets the border halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. I have been changed for good. Well, maybe that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made from what I learned with you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine with me and my friend. Like a ship from yeah, I want to be. Ask for forgiveness for the things I've done, blame me for. But then again, I guess we'll always know. But none of it seems to matter anymore. I'm coming for the morning as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the world. I will that I've been changed for the better. I do believe I have been changed for the better. Because I knew you. Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for
Are there any concerns our community can pray for? Anyone have anything they'd like to make us aware of? Barb?
No trigger finger in his thumb, and it's very painful. And I haven't been able to find it. Well, actually, I haven't been able to afford to find a doctor yet. So just pray that my thumb doesn't get any worse.
You might talk to Dennis, who he recently had his thumb removed. Very well.
Thank you.
Anyone else has a concern they'd like to raise? I'm sorry, I think.
Woohoo!
Okay. Any others? All right, if you'll join me in our prayer for concern, in the bulletin. Centering our minds and hearts in prayer.
We let go of any thoughts of worry or challenge and simply rest in the stillness. We know that our source of strength and peace comes from God alone. We give thanks for divine order and trust that we are all held in the power of grace.
And please remember that if you need private prayer, that Susan and Dennis Breed are our chaplains, and even though they're out of town, they're always available by phone, so you can reach them if you'd like. Next Sunday, we welcome Warren Tishout as our speaker and Alan White as our musician, and it will be our White Stone ceremony. So mark your calendars to make sure you come next week. Thanks to Carrah for a great talk. And Graeme for Lynn will now give us our closing prayer.
We are so grateful for our teacher and the teaching today of the skills to have a life of health and wholeness so that we can extend our love out into the world. We take all these skills, our sewing skills with us. We're thankful for the beautiful music of someone that lived with us in the world for many years. We just know that God is always with us, no matter what our circumstances or the circumstances of those that we love and care for. That God is in the midst, and